Welcome to Neosho Wildcat Football live on KNEO.org. This is a presentation of the KNEO and Neosho Wildcat Sports Network. You're now locked into the official pregame show of the Neosho Wildcats. This is your home for every sack, interception, and touchdown. Now, let's go live to the game site for all the action.
We're looking for some real exciting action. We're excited to be here. John Paul, Matt Paul, and Jim Jackson. We are excited to be here. It is Jamboree time. The Cats are going to be taking on the Donald County Mustang. North side, either company. That they are. Yeah, that's right. The Panthers. And of course, the Mountaineers from Mount Cody. Now, one little thinking missed of all of that because of Forsyth being a smaller school. Neosho's going to play their JV team against them.
Well, it's a good experience for the young players, a lot of freshmen, sophomores will be out on the field to give them the opportunity to get some game-like action because, next week, John, we're at home at the confines of the stadium because Glendale comes visiting, and we do encourage everybody to come out and join us for high school action in Neosho next Friday night. That's August the 29th, 7 o'clock. But in the meantime, we're ready for Jamboree action here in Mount Vernon.
Yeah, we are. We've got a new address. We want to tell everybody that we now are live streaming on YouTube. And you can go to YouTube to pick us up. You can pick us up for us on the second week of Donald County, Seneca, and Grove City will still be broadcast on that. We're excited to be part of YouTube. Once you figure it out, it'll be a whole lot easier for YouTube. Now, the rules, Jim, are a little bit different than what they would be. Each team will play each other 12, 15 plays. And then they'll switch over and the defense will be the offense and the offense will be the defense. Donald County can very well play Neosho. Neosho being the offensive team. They'll go for about 12 plays, go for the score, whatever. Then they'll turn around and do it the other way. Then they'll change places. Donald County will play on one side and we will turn around.
So pretty fast action, and coaches will be on the field with the players and helping with some of the play calling. It gives the coaches the opportunity to see what talent they actually have as they prepare the final week of practice prior to the beginning of the season. And John, we'll talk more about in the next hour about how tough the COC conference is that the Cats are up against. Last year they finished the season with a 6-5 record, losing to Carthage in districts, but they defeated very fine Raytown South team in the first round of district action last year. And that final score was 42-6, and that was a home ball game. But the Cats last year, John, got off to a very good start. They were 4-0 and ranked regionally because they had such a good start. And then they get the meat of the order. When you have to face Grove City, Joplin, and Carthage, it is extremely tough. And teams that have been to deep in the district playoffs and the state finals for many, many years. But the Cats this year, I think it's a different look, new offensive look in the backfield, and they've got some meat protecting the quarterback this year. New quarterback, Cade Spiegel, graduated. He's played college ball this year, and he may reach redshirt, but he is no longer with us. His younger brother, Mason, is out there as a wide receiver. So some new looks and new faces for the Cats this season.
Yeah, we really do. We've got Matt Paul, a baseball player that we watched a whole lot of last year, and that was Blaine Patterson. Of course, we know that his older brother, Austin, went ahead and got on to play at Baker's University this year. He'll be playing football and baseball both. Played in those got a backfield that's got a guy by the name of Keyshawn Warner. We saw a lot last year. Of course, our big man was Welsh, and he did a great job for us. But there was a time that he had a little bit of an ankle problem, and Keyshawn came in and was able to hit the joints and hit the creases and be able to do it. Cat's got a little something different this year. Yeah, we don't have the skilled people we had last year, but as you alluded to, Jim, we've got the people on the front line, and we've got a lot of experience. We got 5 starters returning, 4 of them on the line.
And when I say a lot of meat on that front line, I'm talking about young men that are 250, 270, 310, 315. Some are just sophomores, John. I didn't know they made them that big when they're 14, 15 years of age, but they do have some size, and they get into facing the tough opponents from the COC. It's going to be very equal. And years ago, if you weighed 180, 190, you were a big young man, and you played that line, offense and defense. But anymore, some of the smaller guys are 240, so can't stack up very well offensively and defensively.
Oh man, for sure. And we called his name out last year as the defensive end on the far side, and that was Jackson. He was a sophomore. He played both defensive end for us. He is a young man. I don't even recognize him. He put on some weight. He's up about 235. He's been lifting, working out in the gym. It's going to be exciting. He's also got the offensive.
So we look forward to exciting things from him. John, we were looking across the field. You can see the Mustangs in Bella County are coming on the field. They, you can't get everybody out on the field of practice, so they were on the side at the practice facility getting warmed up prior to this Jamboree. John said, they'll have a limited number of plays that they will run. Gives the coaches the opportunity to look both on offense and defense to see how they stack up against some opponents that are very similar in size. During the regular season, Neosho will never play or not going to play on their schedule this year. The Mount Road or Forsyth in Daughter County, so you can do some things you normally wouldn't do if you were facing Carthage or Champlin or Public or Dixon in Jamboree time. So,
well, Jim, let me get into the believe the Jamboree is getting to be a thing. Here's the reason why. We played football on Sunday. We play 7-on-7. We go to Branson. They have a great team camp. We go to the other places where there's team camp. We have our kids really little football almost all summer long. It used to be that a Jamboree was the first time you get a chance to hit somebody.
That's so true, and I'll see a practice in the summertime at the high school, but you're right, there's camps everywhere, and some of these players that maybe they don't play basketball, but they will wrestle. So like if you look at young Mr. Tumbleson, coming in this ball game at 315 pounds, he had to lose weight to get down to 285 to wrestle. And you're not going to move him around very much around the line, both offense and defense. He is the spark plug for the Cats on that D-line and offensive line this year.
Well, the Bears saying once again, looking at the same several times last year, the Cats had that 6-1. That is the first winning season we've had since 2018.
So that goes back a number of years. There's been some lean years for the Cats, and getting back into some winning ways. And Coach Towney's done a good job to turn this program around. I think this is his fifth season. And, he inherited a team that, you'd run left, run right, up the middle, punt. And that was it. And John, I look back at some of the stats, you and I first got together to do ball games back in the year 2020. They averaged 6 points a game. They won games that way. A couple of years they did not win a game, and then they won one. And they were at the bottom of the list. And things have changed. Different story. Things are getting quiet here in Mount Vernon right now. We're ready for the Jamboree just moments away. All the way you are from 2 to the KNO Sports Network.
Stay tuned everybody.
Hi, this is Pastor Mike from Calvary of Neosho, and I want to take a few moments to give you hope today. Are you feeling overwhelmed with the daily struggles of affording rent, paying for groceries, buying gas? I want you to know that there is a God who is big enough to handle all these problems and bring you relief. He wants you to live free from worry and stress. James 4:2 says you have not because you ask not. Have you asked God to help you today? For KNEO Radio, I'm Mike Leake.
Beautiful evening tonight. The wind is dying down. Temperature was 91 degrees a while ago, but a lot of beautiful night for high school football. It's good to be back on the KNEO Wildcat. Well, John, you know, last year a weak point for the Cats was the defensive secondary, the cornerbacks and the safeties, and they got burned a few times in some of those tough COC games. There's a nice run down the right side for the Mustangs, knocked out of bounds on the far side of the field.
Yeah, that's right. The defender on that time decided to go for the ball and didn't get an opportunity to get it, and of course McDonald County made him pay for that.
Once again, a good crowd on hand tonight in Mount Vernon, Missouri. Jamboree time 2025. McDonald County taking on the Wildcats. The ball spotted around the 26-yard line. Coaches looking closely, and they'll just hand it off right up the middle. A little bit of room, gain of about 1 off left tackle. Nothing fancy, but they want to see who can push that line and drive that pile.
Well, as we said, this is the Jamboree is important because what's the coach looking for? He's looking for someone who will come up and who will make a stand and will stand still. So we're excited about that. We obviously don't want to get anybody hurt. It's 87 degrees out here, so there may be some stops along the way. Number 4, Oliver Martinland, we saw playing basketball, is a defensive end on this far side. Looks like the quarterback is throwing the ball, and it's out of bounds. He was defended in there by another basketballer that we saw last year, Jim, Aiden Plummer.
Aiden had a good season for the Cats on the hardwoods, but nice long throw by the quarterback for McDonald County, just a little wide over the head of his receiver. And timing is a factor, too, John. They get the butterflies out. This is really the first time they've had a chance to hit someone that's not a teammate. And another throw off to the left side. Oh, in and out of the hands, down to the 5-yard line, knocked out of bounds, and no interference. Good call by the referees, and it's also a chance for the referees to get some game-type experience.
Yeah, it really is, and that's important because they're going to get ready this next week just exactly like the football teams, and they will be ready to move and move quickly. No telling where they're liable to be. They don't find out about that normally until about Tuesday or Wednesday of that day, of that week where they're going to be going.
Well, the clock is not running because they get so many plays, limited number of plays, 10, 12 plays per set, and then they'll switch sides. And there's a
Martin Ryder throws an interception.
Nice stab by Oliver Martin. Like you said, interception. He'll bring it back.
And that was exactly what we're looking for, talking with Coach about Oliver Martin. We said one thing about Oliver, he is a hyper, very, very athletic, aggressive type young man, and he brings a lot to the game. So they'll take the ball back to the 40-yard line.
And they'll start it again. McDonald County keeps the ball, but a good play by defensively for the Cats. You get into that COC, and you have some very big defensive secondary, especially the safeties.
Martin Ryder gets hit and gets hit hard, and he's been hit by number 55, who is Jackson Erdl. And we talked, Jim, earlier about Jackson looked completely different than what we did. I was amazed that during golf season, all of a sudden we saw Jackson's name, and I'm thinking, he's a football player. What's he doing playing golf? But he obviously showed he can do this as well.
Jackson stands 6'3", 243, and he had quite the hit. You could hear that all the way up in the press box. Cats brought a lot of players tonight. Good experience. JV team a little bit later will face off against Forsyth, which is a 2A school.
Leo Sosa is in the backfield for McDonald County, and he's going to try to make a block, and he does, and he gives Martin plenty of time to be able to throw the ball, but he overthrows number 33.
And good coverage by the Cats deep in the backfield. Number 9 came on Roan.
Yeah. J.P. Carlson is a senior from McDonald County, and he was just overthrown a little bit. The Cats are very, very fortunate, Jim, and we're seeing that right now. We've got a pretty aggressive defensive line.
Well, McDonald County trying to air the ball out. They've had some good passing games in years past, but a lot of those players have moved on, graduation, now playing college ball or doing other things. Ball spotted on the 40-yard line.
Yeah, McDonald County coach is out on the field. You can certainly do this because it's Jamboree. We're seeing a lot of coaches out there. Ryder Martin hands the ball off to number 2. Looks like there's a flag over at about the 40-yard line, and it looks like it's going to be holding, and it's going to be against McDonald County.
Well, I'd say normally they'd bring the ball back 10 yards, but you can't, tonight. But
no, it was a procedural call that time. So we'll just go right back. You're right. You can't. There's not going to be a penalty there.
Not enough room with 4 teams out on the field right now. The other game is Mount Vernon and Forsyth on the far side. You can barely see them on your screen tonight. Ball spotted on the 38-yard line for McDonald County.
One of the things about this is McDonald County will also, and that ball is going to be whistled dead as it was fumbled by the quarterback, but McDonald County will go ahead and play the Mountaineers from Mount Vernon, but they'll play each other in conference play also, so they may very well play both their JV teams against one another.
Well, Coach putting some new players in, test their skills out on the defensive line. Last year the Cats, that was their strength, the defensive line. Defensive ends did a great job for the Cats. And this year's a different story. And some new young men to prove themselves. Like I say, a lot of sophomores and juniors on this team.
Yeah, long Ryder Martin airs it out, but it is intercepted, and it's intercepted by Mason Spiva.
A good play by Mason, 6'2", 182. We'll see a lot of Mason. Last year he had some injuries earlier in the year where he was limited in football, but he came back in basketball late in the season. He's the brother of Kate Spiva, who has since graduated, former quarterback for the Wildcats.
And he's gone up to play at Midwestern Nazarene. He got many opportunities, but he went up there, and his mom and dad both said they liked the campus, they liked the coach, and hey, it's only a couple hours away, so they were excited about that.
Sure, they can travel up there and see home games, and they'll play a lot of games throughout the state of Kansas. Mustangs with the ball. They remain. They've had 2 interceptions on this drive.
Oh, that's a new quarterback in there, and that is number 9. That is Wyatt Gordon. Wyatt Gordon is a senior. He's 6'2", weighs 195 pounds, and he got almost back to the line of scrimmage.
Good hustle by the Cats, and that's what the Cats need to do this year, John, is attack that basketball. Not basketball, football. But,
we attack the basketball, we're in the wrong place.
I know, but they moved along the line. Your linebackers are quick, and that's a very important piece of the puzzle for the Wildcats this year.
Well, linebackers are really, really important to the Wildcats' defensive scheme. They always have been. We had some great linebackers last year. Unfortunately, we had a great defensive end as well, but Ertl back on defensive end, and we're filling in quite nicely.
They had a quarterback keeper for the Mustangs up the middle, a gain of about 5, maybe 6 yards off left tackle.
He was tackled in there by a host, which included Lincoln Howard from the Wildcats, who is playing that outside linebacker position on this side.
John, I haven't added up the number of plays. About ready for the Cats to take over.
Yeah, I think we're getting really close. In fact, the other teams are kind of winding down a little bit too, so I would think it'll be here just pretty quick. Looks like it's 3rd and about 6, maybe 5 for McDonald County.
They've aired it out tonight, but unfortunately they've had 2 interceptions. Cats playing good defense in the secondary.
Number 18, J.W. Spiva, was in motion for McDonald County, and that was a keeper by Leo Solis, and he didn't get very far at all, so it's going to be I think they're go back, and I believe we're going to change out right now, Jim.
It's time for the Cats to see what they can do. It's kind of curious to see what who they'll put in the backfield. I'm sure some of the starters will get a limited action, John, and then your backup quarterback and some running backs. They want to see how they'll fare in game-like situations.
Yeah, Coach Taddy's got them down there right now. One of the things that I personally think is great, and we've seen it a little bit more this year than the last few years, we've got extra padding on the outside of those helmets. We certainly don't need anybody to get speared, certainly before season ever starts, and get hurt. So, and it's that way for all the teams.
Well, exactly. Brody Leach in there, 6'4", 265. Tomlinson, 315 pounds. So we have some big young men in there, and the Cats are in action.
And there goes Keyshawn Rome, and he goes and picks up about 12, 13 yards before he lost his footing. Yeah, Brody Leach, we watched his sister play softball, Sadie Leach, and then, of course, she played basketball as well, and he certainly is a big young man of stature and just a great competitor.
1st and 10 for the Cats from the 28-yard line. Nice run by Roan up the middle. And they'll throw it out, air it out. Out to the right side, number 3, that's Haven Plummer.
Yeah, Haven Plummer, if you close your eyes for just a minute, you see a number 1 there. And that's the guy last year that was able to be, before it was all said and done, Hudson Williams, the best receiver for the Wildcats.
Well, Blaine Patterson, we haven't talked about him. He is the quarterback for the Cats. He's going to keep it, bring it off the left side, a gain of about 3.
Well, I tell you what, that was a great job by Keyshawn Rome that time of disguising the play, and everybody went off after him. And that allowed Blaine to do what we actually saw him do a couple of times last year, Jim, when he was in as a sophomore, and that was to pick up the ball and run.
Brock Pyle, number 25, also in the backfield. He's a good blocker and a good receiver.
There goes Rome right up the middle, and he's got the first down and a little bit extra.
And one thing that's impressive, the Cats are pushing the pile. No pun intended for Brock, but they're pushing Mustangs back. And that's what it takes. You know, if you gain 4 or 5 yards every play, you're going to be all right.
Well, Brock is a senior again this year, and more importantly, he's one of the 5 starters that comes back to this Wildcat team. And they will look a lot of leadership qualities to him. We saw him play in the slot. We saw him play wide receiver. And at the end of several ball games, he was the guy that was in motion the whole time.
He's kind of like the Tyreek Hill out there, and you never know which way he's going to run to try to get the defense out of whack. There's a nice throw from Blaine, and over intended for Mason Spiva, knocked out of bounds.
Yeah, that was a nice throw. It was right on the money, and Nathan had a defender right in his face.
You know, if the young Mr. Patterson can be the dual threat, have a good arm, and also able to run, the Cats will be in good shape this year. I think the running back attack will do well. 3 wide receivers off to the right side. Running back to the left side is
Rome, and he is going to get down to the line of scrimmage, maybe pick up a yard or 2.
That was a good setup with 3 receivers off to the right side. They come back to the run game on the left. Pickup of about 3 on the play, if that. Maybe a little less.
We know that
Patterson
Lane's going to throw the ball. No, he's not. He's going to run it, and he's going to get up. He's going to be close. He's going to be about 6 yards away from the first down.
Haven Plummer was deep in the end zone, but he had 2 defensive backs right on top of him, so Blaine had nowhere to throw. I think he was looking downfield, but he had plenty of time until the wall collapsed and he had to run and try to make something out of it.
Now, Lincoln Howard's over here on this close side, and Coach Towdy was over and has a word with him, and that's what this is all about. This is making sure everybody's on the same page and got a pretty good idea of what's going on. So it is 4th and 9 for the Cats.
Patterson in the backfield. He's going to look. He's looking down. He throws deep. Oh, in and intended for number 2, Lincoln Howard.
Yeah, it was number 1, Brock Breckler was there, and he may have got his hand in on it just a little bit, but it was a nice route. It was a nice execution, and we just didn't get the pay dirt.
Good little, I guess, not a rally, but a drive for the Cats. They get it up around the 20, inside the 20, until the wheels came off. Nothing doing down deep to try to air it out. So they'll start again on their 40-yard line.
Well, one of the things that I've been impressed with, Jim, is the speed of Keyshawn Roan. And here he goes out to the side. There's a ball that's thrown over to the right sideline, and that ball is thrown over to number 3, Haven Plummer, and just didn't happen. But well, that's okay. This is preseason.
That's true. It's a during game situation. That's probably a ball that should have been caught. He had plenty of room and just heard a defender right on his back. But anyway, they'll work these things out. That's what a jamboree is all about. Cats with the ball from their own 40-yard line. Patterson at quarterback.
Patterson back to throw, and there is a long ball, and there goes Rome, and he's got. He almost had it.
And he would probably been out of bounds on the far side, but things will connect. They'll get that timing down. It's one thing, John, to do plays like that in practice, and then you get in a game situation. It's entirely different thought process.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. We're probably doing a few things that we wouldn't normally do during a game just to see exactly what can happen.
Patterson in the backfield, Roans, and there's a throw to Plummer. Oh, nice little run, pickup of about 13, 14 yards. Yeah. Good run after catch.
Yeah, Plummer did a nice job that time of turning around and coming back and going right up the inside and saw that crease and picked up a first down.
Well, the Cats have a lot of wide receivers, John, that are 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2", has some height. They can jump, and that's could make a difference.
Yeah, and there's Brock Pyle in.
Nice run by Roan. He's down to the 5, down to the 4.
Down to the 4. Nice job. I was going to say in motion was Brock Pyle that time. It seems like when Brock is in motion like that, we get a little bit of misdirection going on, and it certainly comes out well.
Good run by the Cats. You're in tune to the KNEO Wildcat Sports Network, and this is the place to be for Wildcat football during the 2025 season.
Well, apparently we are done. I didn't realize the Wildcats had gotten that many times with a score, but we are done with our part of it. We're going to take a timeout, and we'll wait for Forsyth and the Mountaineers to finish up, and then we'll be right back. You're watching the Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO Neosho Wildcat Sports Network. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, I'm Pastor Jeremy Bridges with the Canopy Church, and I want to take 30 seconds today to encourage you to pray. Because our prayers have the power to move heaven. James 5 says the prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. When we pray, God listens. When we pray, situations can change. When we pray, miracles can happen. And heaven moves on our behalf, simply because we pray. Take some time today and pray. For KNEO Radio, I'm Jeremy Bridges.
Hi, I'm Barry Reel with First Free Will Baptist Church of Neosho, and I want to give you some encouragement today. None of us are perfect, but sometimes we feel like we have messed our lives up so badly that even God can't fix us or help us. I want to assure you that's not the case. In Romans 8:28, we read that God causes all things to work together for good to those who love Him and are called according to His purpose. That means that God can even use your mistakes to do good in your life. I want to encourage you to trust God and let Him give you peace about your past, a purpose in your present, and hope for your future. With KNEO Radio, this is Barry Reel.
In a sense, we all live in earthquake zones. Sometimes things in our world are shaken by forces we can't control. It might be one of those times in your life right now. Life's quakes remind us how breakable and vulnerable we are. You were made for a relationship with Jesus Christ. Only through Him can you be safe for all eternity. He proved it by His blood when He died on the cross to pay for every sin you've ever committed. To learn more, call 888-NEED-HIM.
Hi, I'm Barry Reel with the First Free Will Baptist Church of Neosho. And if you're watching the game tonight, you probably like winners. You probably want your team to win.
Welcome back to Mount Vernon, Missouri, Neosho, McDonald County, are going across and doing the sportsmanship thing and shaking hands with one another and saying a good outing for both teams. Neosho will take on, Jim, I did not hear that. Was it they take on the Mountaineers or they take on Forsyth?
You know, I'm not for sure. We're going to find out here momentarily which end of the field they'll move the players, but the Cats look promising. They had some good runs from the quarterback and Mr. Roan in the backfield. Some good tosses, some that maybe should have been caught, but that's immaterial since it is just a jamboree. But they'll get the timing worked out, get the kinks out. Coach Towdy talking to his quarterback on the sideline momentarily and said, hey, you did a good job. Just hang in there and things will start working our way. And, if the Cats can move the pile and move the line where we've had some running room, which we did, things will work out well for the Cats this year. As you know, you get into that COC, and we've seen some of those players, John, whether from Nixa or Ozark or Republic, and they go on to D1 schools and they get recruited. And so players out of Webb City and Joplin and Carthage. It's going to be a tough schedule. It's probably one of the toughest in the state. There is no fluff in that lineup up and down, because you're facing Springfield schools, and then you throw in all our schools, like we mentioned in our part of the state in Jasper, Newton County, and it is extremely tough. They're bringing out the water and the Gatorade for the players because it's still in the upper 80s, and I'm sure it's even warmer. Get out there with full pads and you're running full strength. It takes the energy right out of you. But the Cats are going to move everything, I guess, over, John, to the far side of the field. And
yeah, so we may have to rotate just a little bit. You know, one of the things that I was real curious about, and I think we did a pretty good job of that. Now, I'm going to use some Kansas City Chiefs vernacular there. We have the receiving room, and in the receiving room there was only one receiver actually from last year that played varsity, and of course that was Brock Pyle. And so that means that the quarterback, who had limited time playing varsity, the only receiver he really knows a whole lot about is Brock Pyle. But the offensive line held and gave us plenty of time, and it's obvious that the go-to guy in the backfield is going to be Keyshawn Roan, so we're pretty excited about that. I'm excited about what the line did. I'm excited about what we did defensively, both up on the line and in the linebacker's position. One of the things that has been a bugaboo for the Cats is our strongest tackler for many years has been the safety, which is great. I'm excited about that. I like safeties, but if someone gets through the line and ends up the safety tackling, there's some adjustments that need to be made.
And, you know, the Cats the past couple of seasons have been fortunate to have a running back who can also be a good wide receiver, someone they can just dump it off if the quarterback gets into trouble.
That ball was passed right up over the middle. Neosho is playing the Mountaineers from Mount Vernon. It was passed up over the middle and was brought down by one of those linebackers, Lincoln Howard.
Well, the Mountaineers from Mount Vernon have some good size on their offensive line. You look at the tackles; they're good-sized young men, and of course the guards aren't no slouches either, and good size in the first 5 or 6 right up front. And they'll hand it off. Running right side and a good tackle.
Yeah, that was
I
nice
thought he
job
had
there.
him down. A good stop by Lincoln Howard.
Yeah.
He's also a wide receiver and a defensive back, but good hustle by the Cats.
Well, one of the things I like about Lincoln Howard is he missed him the first time, but he hung right with him and actually threw him for more of a loss than he would have if he had tackled him on the spot the first time.
Cats, for the most part, last year, you remember John played good defense. They got stung a few times on some big plays, and which hurt. And but they've had the ability to score and score quickly once needed. Another handoff up the middle, left tackle.
Nice job that time by big Mr. Evenson. He just reached around and grabbed that running back who looked like he was maybe Jack the Giant Killer, and Mr. Evenson was Jack, and just threw him down.
You know, I'm sure some colleges will come calling to his parents' house this season or in the off season, make him some offers. He's an all-state wrestler, wrestles at 285, football weight around 315. And once he gets that bear hug on you, John, you're not going to get loose.
Yeah, and also you see him looking all the defenders, and he's calling the plays out there as well. So, pretty smart young man on top of that.
And another
There's
handoff.
another one that's going up the middle, and
A gain of about 4 on the play, not much there. They push him back. Number 2 again in on the stop. That's Lincoln Howard.
Nate Winkler was in there that time on the stop as well. So we've got Cats, and we are gang tackling, which is absolutely what we want to do, you know.
I'm just amazed at the size of the young men for the Cats in the backfield, like Colby McGehee, number 40, 235 pounds at 5'10", and just a junior.
You know, last year he played a little bit inside linebacker, and he didn't go 175.
So they have really all good hustle by the Cats. Quarterback in trouble to throw up the middle, incomplete. Nothing doing.
Yeah.
Good hustle by Easton White in there for the Cats, putting a little pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, nice job that time by the Cats in order to do that. Number 55 is going to come off, and that's Jackson Erdl. We're going to be moving some more people in and out now, giving some other guys some opportunities to play.
Ball spotted on the 36-yard line. They're calling it third and about 6 to go. Keep this drive alive, or otherwise they bring it back to the 40 and they start again. Quarterback in trouble. They dump it off. A nice little catch down inside the 30-yard line for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, just caught that time in there by Oliver Martin. Hit him and knocked him out of bounds, but the Mountaineers certainly got the first down.
Well, the Mountaineers keeping this drive alive. They spot the ball, let's see, around the 27, 28-yard line. 1st and 10.
All right, they come back out. Their quarterback is a shotgun formation with one backfield person, and there's a ball thrown to a defender on the outside, but nothing doing. The Cats got him.
Good hustle. That's number
10, it looks like, and that was Easton White. He is a quarterback D-back. He's a sophomore. He was 5'10", weighs 162 pounds.
They are quick in the backfield. That's has been a weakness for the Cats in previous years. The line has held its own.
Donald County stretched way out on this side and giving the ball away.
Good hustle by the Cats. Oh, he's still up. Thought they had him down. He actually never touched the ground. He just spun him around. Number 18 was in there.
Yeah, Nate Winkler, the senior, was in there in order to slow him down until 2 or 3 more of the Cats got a hold of him.
And Mount Vernon will bring some new players in, give them the opportunity to show their stuff. Beautiful night in Mount Vernon, as always. Good to want to thank the athletic department. John, a lot of construction going on. I had to ask across the field, they're getting a new performing arts center.
Oh, wow.
Something that they've needed. They built the gym, they said, back in 1996, so it's long overdue.
That was kind of a fake jet sweep that the quarterback kept, but it was nothing to it and didn't fool any of the Cats, and he may have gotten up to the line of scrimmage, but that was about it. And it looks like the Mountaineers are going to bring in a whole crew of new players.
Well, the shadows have overtaken the field. It's 7:30 Central Time, and days are getting shorter. Sunset just before 8 o'clock. But that doesn't affect the play here, the way the field is situated. Mountaineers with the ball. On your screen, the Cats in their dark and gold jerseys and helmets. Nice throw, completed off to the right side and out of bounds on about the 19-yard line.
Yeah, that's going to be a pickup of about 2. New quarterback in there for the Mountaineers. Matt, you're an old defensive player. What do you think about this defense?
Well, I'm pretty impressed so far. They're really playing hard tonight. Especially with the defensive line, I'm really impressed with how these guys are playing, and definitely getting in there, and everybody's tackling, so that is good.
Yeah, and the thing I like about it is not just one person doing the tackling. They're gang tackling. That means that there's several Wildcat defenders arriving at the ball about the same time.
Mountaineers once again back it up to the 40-yard line. They'll start a whole new drive. The handoff. No, they hang on to it. Quarterback keeper taken down. Yeah. Nice tackle by number 18. That's Nate Winkler again.
Yeah, he's all over that. Lou Holtz used to say that he had a defensive end that made more tackles than anybody else. He said he got knocked down more than most, but then he'd get up and he'd arrive at the ball carrier with a bad attitude, and that's what I see the Cats doing here tonight.
They're getting tough. Wildcats.
Quarterback keeper, and there's a float out, but
nice
number 12 had a chance to get him, but they finally picked him up. I believe he's probably going to get the first down.
And very close. They threw him towards the out-of-bounds marker. Let's see where they spot the ball. It's going to be down around that's enough for a first down for the Mountaineers.
Dane Arthur, the sophomore, had a chance to get him that time. They eluded him, but we'll see Mr. Arthur because of his strong leg more during the year than anything else.
No, they're saying he's
third down. He did not make it.
It is short. About a half a yard to go for the Mountaineers. It was a good little fake and good little run after catch. One man in the backfield. Quarterback looking to throw. He's going to go deep. He goes deep for the end zone. Touchdown. Mountaineers. What a nice play. Nice throw of about 30 yards, 35 yards in the air.
Yeah, that was a nice play. It set up just real well. They were 3rd and 1. If you're ever going to throw the ball on a 3rd down, that's the time to be able to do it.
And that's something the Cats will work on in their secondary so they don't get burned. That happened a lot last year. They do so well and hold them on the line, and then they get stung down deep.
Well, it'll be the Cats' turn now to see what they can do on the offensive side of the ball. You're watching the Neosho Wildcats on the KNEO Neosho Wildcat Sports Network. Jim Jackson, John Ball, and Matt Ball here with you in Mount Vernon, Missouri. The Jamboree, the Cats start off next week at home, and they'll play a team that they pretty much blew out back in their home, and I'm sure they won't forget that because Coach Frank Trisson and Glendale will remember that for a long time to come. We met Coach Trisson back when he was a coach at Willard and thought an awful lot of him as a coach then. Glad to see him get the opportunity at Glendale, but all bets are off next week, and my money's on the Cats, Jim.
I certainly would agree with that. Here's the handoff to Roan around running left side. He has some room, gain of about almost 5 yards, but he has some, he wiggles through that line, John, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, he did. He got caught in the backfield, but he was able to evade the tackler and go ahead and pick up about 4.
Well, Patterson's still at quarterback. I thought they might bring in somebody new for this series, but not the case. Going to hand it off.
Same thing again, and Rome's going to be real close to the first down.
Second and be 3rd down. It looks like 3rd and very short yardage. But they are pushing the pile. Roan doing a good job. Number 18 comes back into the ball game. That's Nate Winkler. Some of these players, John, as you know, are play defense and offense, both sides of the ball. Patterson back at quarterback.
This might be the time to throw the ball, and it most definitely is. And it goes to Winkler and overthrew him.
He was wide open off the left side. Just overthrew him just a little bit.
Yeah, here comes Rome back in the ball game, so we'll probably look to, well, they're going to say, no, we'll go back to first down again. I didn't see a flag. I'm not real sure what happened. I guess if it's a jamboree like this, the officials can do whatever they want to, but certainly it's about execution. It's about playmaking and whatever it needs to happen. But it'd be nice to see the Cats make some pay dirt.
Yeah, it's a learning experience for the referees as well. You know, just a few short years ago, we didn't have as many referees as we needed. Some games had to be delayed or played on Saturdays.
Here's a nice room. He's got a lot of space.
A lot of room down the right side, down across the 20. That's enough for a first down and then some. Good run off to the right side.
You know, just watching the yellow flags being thrown over here on the Forsyth McDonald County game, we had a couple of guys who were getting a little too aggressive with one another, and even though there's not a penalty there, the officials were letting them know we don't do that.
Yeah, the ball spotted on the 17-yard line. Cats are going to look, and he's trying to find somebody. He does. Number 3 in there, that's Plummer.
Well, Plummer's going to pick up maybe 3 yards on that play. Maybe 4.
John, you know, when you come out to a football game, the smells, the popcorn, the hamburgers, the hot dogs, and just a good social event. And we encourage you to come out next week and see the Cats. And, John, don't forget softball getting ready to get started as well.
Yes, it is. Softball will start about the first week of September. And there's a ball that is thrown to Rome. He picks it up, and he is still spinning around, and he's going to get the first down, it looks like.
Yeah, it was a good bounce. He picked it up, and it just popped right back into his arms, and was able to make something out of nothing right there.
It looks like it's going to be 3rd and about 1, but you're absolutely right. That ball bounced up, and he was able to do something with it. So young Mr. Rowan's doing a great job of showing what he can do.
Third down and short. They'll hand off. Nope, they'll hang on to it.
And it's
Patterson.
going to be a touchdown for the Wildcats, it looks like.
He's going to be a little short, about a foot short.
Well, that's what we saw Blaine do last year, what he was comfortable with, grabbing the ball and trying to hand it off and then just hanging on to it and following the runner right through the hole. So the Cats have got first and goal from probably the half-yard line, Jim.
Patterson in the backfield. He has a new Winkler back there. He's hit hard and pushed back. No touchdown. Didn't reach pay dirt.
Well, that one kind of ended up being an issue to begin with because it was not, it was hiked and Patterson had to reach up and grab it. But those are mistakes that are going to be made, and better they be made right now.
Well, they've got second down and short yardage. He pushed him back about 1.5 yards on that last play.
A lot of movement in the backfield over there. Right there's the ball to Winkler, wide open. Yeah, what a pretty play.
No doubt about that. Wide open in the left flat. Touchdown, and one touchdown apiece from both teams. What a night for football. And, John, it looks like next week it'll be a little cooler during the week, and hopefully it'll be not sweater weather for football on Friday night, but come out and enjoy yourself, bring the family.
Yeah, Bob Anderson Stadium is a great place to be on Friday nights. As Coach Larry Perkins would say, what else would you want to do but be at Bob Anderson Stadium on Friday nights? Now he says that over at East Newton, I'm sure, but that's okay.
Yeah, we always enjoyed working with Coach Perkins, and I agree, not much on TV on a Friday night except high school football, and that's the place to be.
Easton White is the new quarterback. He is a sophomore, 5'10", 162 pounds, and Winkler is in the backfield with him. He's going to throw the ball, and he throws it over to number 9, which is Cayman Rones, and he steps out of bounds, but he's going to be close to the first down.
Nice toss by White, and good throw, a little heat on that ball. Cats look a little more comfortable, John, out there on this last drive than what they did the first drive against McDonald County. They're not making many errors. And
well, apparently that's it.
That's their last play.
Yeah.
And fast evening. It's almost time for ice cream, isn't it?
Real close. Yeah, we brought Luke Taylor along with us. Why did we bring him, Jim?
It's for ice cream.
That's right. He's going to buy ice cream for us on the way back home.
We got to have something to soothe our throats after all the talking. And
yeah, Cats' offensive line did a nice job that time of allowing us to make the plays, and it's a matter of whatever the plays are, being on the same page and being able to commit to it, and that's what the Cats did that time, and they had plenty of time to do it. So good job, offensive line.
Going to take just a quick break and come back, and you're in tune to the KNEO Wildcat Sports Network.
Hi, this is Pastor Mike from Calvary of Neosho, and I want to take a few moments to give you hope today. Are you feeling overwhelmed with the daily struggles of affording rent, paying for groceries, buying gas? I want you to know that there is a God who is big enough to handle all these problems and bring you relief. He wants you to live free from worry and stress. James 4:2 says, "You have not because you ask not." Have you asked God to help you today? For KNEO Radio, I'm Mike Leake.
A swimmer was caught in a strong current and close to drowning. Suddenly, a life jacket was thrown within reach. He grabbed the life jacket and it saved his life. Sometimes we feel like we're drowning in the problems of life. Maybe it's financial, marital, or job related. Where can we find hope? Jesus is our rescuer and wants us to reach out to him. Learn more. Call 888-NEED-HIM or chat with us live at needhim.org.
This is Pastor James Keyser from the Neosho Church of the Nazarene, and just wanted to share a few thoughts with you today. You know, we live in a world where people are captivated by fear, worry, anxiety, and I understand that when folks don't have God in the center of their life, but when we're talking about the church, the Bible has so much to say that we should not worry, we should not fear, we should not be anxious about anything, but in prayer and supplication, bring all our requests to God. Primarily because we know God cares about us. And at the end of the day, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, fear and worry, really at the very heart of it, it's a lack of faith and it's a lack of trust in God. I think it's a choice to choose to trust Him in the midst of uncertain and trying times. I really believe that's what God wants for our life. For KNEO Radio, this is Pastor James Keyser.
The Oxford Dictionary defines mercy as compassion or forgiveness shown towards someone who should rightfully be punished. Billy Graham talked about the mercy that freed him from a punishment he deserved.
I deserve the wrath of God. I'm a sinner. I deserve judgment in hell. But I'm not going to spend one day in hell. Not because I have preached to people or because I've read the Bible or because I go to church.
But if it's not good works that spare us from punishment, what does?
Jesus was enduring the wrath of God that you and I deserve. It's because of Jesus on the cross.
Now, it's up to you to accept the mercy that Jesus Christ offers. He's alive today, and you can know Him personally, and we can help. Call us at 855-255-PRAY. 855-255-PRAY. We're the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association.
In a sense, we all live in earthquake zones. Sometimes things in our world are shaken by forces we can't.
Hi, I'm Pastor Jeremy Bridges with the Canopy Church, and I want to take 30 seconds today to encourage you to pray. Because our prayers have the power to move heaven. James 5 says the prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. When we pray, God listens. When we pray, situations can change. When we pray, miracles can happen. And heaven moves on our behalf, simply because we pray. Take some time today and pray. For KNEO Radio, I'm Jeremy Bridges. Hi, this is Pastor Mike from Calvary of Neosho, and I want to take a few moments to give you hope today. Are you feeling overwhelmed with the daily struggles of affording rent, paying for groceries, buying gas? I want you to know that there is a God who is big enough to handle all these problems and bring you relief. He wants you to live free from worry and stress. James 4:2 says, "You have not because you ask not." Have you asked God to help you today? For KNEO Radio, I'm Mike Leake. Hi, I'm Pastor Mike of Calvary of Neosho, and I want to take a minute to share grace with you today. And what is grace? Grace is when someone gives you something that you don't deserve. I haven't done anything to deserve God's forgiveness, but He gives it by His grace. I haven't done anything to deserve God's love, but He gives it by His grace. I haven't done anything to deserve a bright future, but God has made a way for me to have one by His grace. Titus 2 says the grace of God has appeared that offers salvation to all people. Have you accepted that gift of grace? For KNEO Radio, I'm Mike Leake.
Hi, I'm Barry Reel with First Free Will Baptist Church of Neosho, and I want to give you some encouragement today. None of us are perfect, but sometimes we feel like we have messed our lives up so badly that even God can't fix us or help us. I want to assure you that's not the case. In Romans 8:28, we read that God causes all things to work together for good to those who love Him and are called according to His purpose. That means that God can even use your mistakes to do good in your life. I want to encourage you to trust God and let Him give you peace about your past, a purpose in your present, and hope for your future.
And welcome back to Mount Vernon, Missouri. The Neosho Wildcats in Jamboree are getting ready to start their last set, and it will be against the Forsyth team. Now, Jim, my understanding is because Forsyth is a smaller class, we're probably going to play our JV team against them.
Well, it's probably a good thing, and get a chance for a lot of sophomores to see some action tonight, and some new faces out there. Who knows, some of those young players, sophomores, and even some juniors would have to step up later in the year. You never know when an injury is going to happen. We saw that last year in a lot of key positions for the Cats, and it's a good thing that we had these young men that could step right in, some sophomores and juniors last year, or juniors and seniors this year. And we look for some great things for them. Last drive, the Cats looked a little more comfortable in quarterback position. The running back had some good runs and a nice touchdown towards the very end. They did give up one touchdown to Mount Vernon, but the Cats overall played much, much better in their little section match-off with the Mountaineers.
Yeah, one of the names we did not mention was Gabe Bustede. He played some excellent ball for us last year, and saw him and Evenson Tomlinson out there talking with a couple of McDonald County players and shaking hands and having a good time in sportsmanship's concerned. But Bustede is a senior. He will be playing both sides. He'll be playing on that defensive line as well as the offensive line.
Easton White in at quarterback, a sophomore, 5'10", 162. And some new running backs and a whole new look on the line for the Cats.
Yeah, we've got 3 wideouts on the far side and 1 wideout on this side. The ball is handed off to number 6, which is Caleb Gottsperson. And he found a key crease there, and he got up to picked up about 4 yards.
Good run off right tackle.
Now we'll see him. We'll call his name in varsity along the way too, because he has the ability. He's a smart young man, and he's got a lot of football IQ.
White going back, looking deep. He's got a receiver open. He does. Across the 20-yard line, a good pass.
That pass was to Carl Coggins, number 21, a sophomore that is 5'10", weighs 157.
Well, the Cats have several young men at quarterback who can not only throw well, but they can run when they need to, and that's being a dual threat.
Yeah, the Cats have got 3 wideouts on this side and 1 on the other side. The ball is thrown up the middle, and it was almost picked off, but it was batted down, and a Neosho Wildcat picked it up and still picked up about 6 yards. That was Cohen Depew.
He caught the ball on the 10, pushed back to about the 10.5-yard line. Cats in business, second down and about 5 to go for the drive. Otherwise, they'll bring it back to the 40 if they're unable to convert.
That was a nice heads-up play that time. A lot of times when a defensive lineman bats a ball down, that's about as far as it goes.
And
goes
a nice
Gosperson up the middle.
And nothing doing that time. Ran into a brick wall. And 3 of the Panthers were ready and waiting on that carry. Friday night football is back in the 4 states. We enjoy what we're doing, and we hope you'll stay with us throughout the season for Wildcat football, only on the KNEO Wildcat Sports Network.
Now we start with Glendale next week at the Bob, and then we go to Kickapoo the week after that, and then Lebanon comes back after that.
White trying to make something happen. Not much there off the right side. He's wrapped up close to a first down. Let's see where it's officially marked. It's around the 11 or 12-yard line. That'll be 4th down and short yardage.
Yeah, Coach running some people in and out. It looks like that number 12, Dane Arthur, apparently maybe he's going to kick a field goal.
And now he's going to be in a quarterback, it looks. No, let's see. Who do we have at quarterback?
He's in the quarterback, and Dolan Greenfield. And Arthur picks up the first down for sure.
Pushes the pile and down to about the 2-yard line. Yeah, they thought it was a first down. Looks like a penalty, and they'll bring it back.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the penalty is. Looks like it's going to be a 5-yard, or maybe it was a offsides. We'll see here in just a minute. Probably not find out. But suffice it to say that changes the dynamics a little bit. Arthur back in there, quarterback, instead of just half a yard, he's got about 6 yards in order to get the first down.
He's looking to throw. He's got a man open in the end zone.
And it's caught. Number 17 caught it, and it's a touchdown.
Good.
That is Cade Sykes.
And a good drive for the Cats on the JV.
That was an excellent catch and an excellent pass right there,
It
guys.
was. A real nice hookup between a couple of sophomores.
Did very well on that drive. Let's see if they can do it again. They'll remain on offense. Had a few good drives and good carries of 5-6 yards several times up the middle and off to the right side. Good crowd on hand here tonight for this opening jamboree at Mount Vernon, Missouri, with Mack County, Forsyth, and Mount Vernon, and of course the Neosho Wildcats.
Okay, the Cats start back at their 40-yard line. Ball was snapped.
Arthur going back, running to the
rolling
left
out.
side. He throws back. Oh, he's trying to get number 24. That's Cohen DePoe. Had him turned around. He had him open.
Yeah, I did. He was wide open, just led him a little bit too much.
Not everybody can throw the ball like Patrick Mahomes. You know, running left and throwing it back right.
Yeah, not everybody can catch the ball like Xavier Worthy either.
That's so true. Cats will come around. They've looked promising tonight. Some things I know they'll work on in practice this week, but they've looked good at times in their other drives.
One of the things that we found out, there was a nice pass to number 30, and he was taken down right there on the spot. That was Rhett Wilson.
3rd down and 4, pickup of about 6 on that play for the Cats.
One of the things we've heard coaches say time after time after time, a good JV will make your varsity better. And it looks like these JVs understand their role and they're ready to take over.
Well, these are young men who would like to fight for that spot because they'd like to get on the varsity level and get that letter at the end of the season. There's a fumble. See if the Cats jumped on it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. They'll still retain possession.
I'm not real sure exactly what happened that time, but Carl Coggin, the sophomore, looked like the ball was being snapped to him, and Arthur reached around at the same time. So.
Yeah, they're discussing things. Yeah, they're ready to go again.
Arthur with Gosperson back in the backfield to lend him a little bit of support.
He's back to throw, going to go deep. Good arm. Wide open, intended for number 7 there. Couldn't make it. Weston Richardson, a sophomore.
Yeah, that was a nice throw from the sophomore.
Good arm. That's looks promising. And he's just a sophomore, John. So, you know, we've been spoiled the past couple of years with Quentin Hughes and Mason Spiva. Tremendous arms, and also Mason was a very good runner, dual threat last year, but he has graduated. So we move on.
Yeah, we did. We found out that once Cade got an opportunity after Hughes was graduated, he really showed himself. And there is a
good pitch out, good option, good run across the 35 to about the 33-yard line. Pickup of about 7 for the Cats.
Yeah, that's the first time we've seen that option come about. And Gosperson made the last 4 yards all by himself. So, but that's going to be the end of it, and the Forsyth Panthers are going to take over, and Neosho Wildcats will be on defense.
And this will be the last little stanza for the Cats tonight. Really not a lot of breaks tonight. It hasn't been, the weather has cooperated, even though it's been very warm today. It's not like the sun beating down at 2 or 3 in the afternoon would be unbearable to be out on the field.
Well, that's for sure. It's 85 degrees out, but the sun is down and the wind is blowing just a little bit from the north over to the south, and it makes it pretty nice.
Yeah, it got real nice real fast today.
Yeah, it did. Looks like the Cats have got some of their big guys on the inside. I see
Tomlinson is out there.
I see Bastide is out there as well.
It's hard to keep them on the sideline. They want to be in there as much as possible. That's what they strive for.
Ertl is over there on the other side.
That's going nowhere. Inside handoff. Tomlinson in there on the play, as well as a host of Cats.
Caleb Wilfong, he was on the defensive end side on this series. We'll be calling his name quite a little bit this next year as well. Even though we've got a lot of kids that are going to be playing both ways, we've got the depth, Jim, that is going to be able to pull those guys out when need be, give them a break, and these Cats just keep right on going.
I think the Cats have just reloaded this year and a new group of players that can step right in and make a difference on this team starting next week against Glendale. And another pushback. Nothing there for Forsyth.
Yeah, that was Lincoln Howard that made the tackle and knocked him back just about another 3 yards. He came from a not an outside linebacker position, but more of a safety position that time.
I tell you guys, these guys really got speed. They're flying downhill.
Yes, they are.
You know, the Cats last year started the season 4-0, defeating some very fine teams, Glendale and Kickapoo right off the bat. Then you face the meat of the order when you have to take on Webb City and Joplin and Carthage. But this year, Carthage and I believe Joplin or Webb City, they come to our house. So
yes, they do.
It could be a different story
and
this year.
Joplin does too. We'll have some great football at the Bob Anderson Stadium. Great job that time. I'll tell you, the guy that made the play that time was Jackson Ertl, and he slowed things down enough for Evans and Tomlinson to get in there. So between the two of them, they ran the play back for a big loss.
Good play by the Cats. Hopefully we'll see a lot of that in action this season. Do want to thank John. We're not mentioning our sponsors this year. I know we do have some new sponsors and some that have been with us for many years, and we do appreciate what they have done in order for us to bring ball games like this to you. We certainly appreciate that so much.
Yeah, these things don't come cheap, and we're just excited about the fact that we can bring these ball games to you, and you can sit back in your easy chair, and there's number 5 that is gone.
He bounced around on the backfield, thought he was taken down.
There was a flag.
Let's see what they called the penalty on.
It's a touchdown, but I bet you it is going to be for grandstanding.
Well, it was a 40-yard run down the right side for Forsyth. Yeah. Let's see.
Well, they're not going to tell us what it is, but I'm sure it's going to be a taunting
yeah.
Touchdown. And
unsportsmanlike conduct.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was a taunting.
It says not the NFL, guys.
Nope.
You know you're happy you made a touchdown, but you don't have to wave your finger at the opponent.
And the umpire is going to go over and talk to the head coach over there, and certainly they deserve a response. But young man number 5, and we don't know who he is, certainly made a nice run. Showed us he had some speed.
And he does.
Yes, he does.
You know, it's Jamborees. You can make a few mistakes, but you need to get those corrected. And there's another
flag.
I don't know if it's a face mask or legal use of the hands.
Well, I'm not sure either. We'll find out here in just a minute.
The referee's getting a workout right now.
Yeah, he sure is. Well, it's a hold, and it's going to be against Forsyth, so they'll leave the ball right there where it is.
Top of the hour, you're in tune to KNEO, Neosho, Joplin, Webb City.
John Ball, Jim Jackson, Matt Ball with you. We're in Mount Vernon, Missouri. We're playing the last part of a Jamboree. The Neosho Wildcats are taking on the Panthers from Forsyth, and this will be the final set of the evening, and we'll be heading back towards Neosho. We've seen the Cats do some good things, Jim.
That we have, and look promising for this upcoming season. Get some timing issues taken care of. There's a long throw down the left side. Caught at the 10. Taken down at the 2. Nice run after catch. Took a couple of Cats with him.
Yeah, Caden Sykes is the sophomore that he was on him right there and did a nice job of watching the offensive player looking at his eyes and did not see the ball come in behind him.
We'll see what the Cats can do. You know, last year against Lebanon, John, they had a nice fourth down at about 1 yard to go, and they held the Yellow Jackets out of the end zone. Let's see what they can do in this situation. 1st and 10, or 1st and goal from the 2-yard line for the Panthers.
Yeah, it does not look like we've got our big line in, but there's a touchdown. Yes, sir. Number 5 again.
Just off the right side. Made that look easy. So we see some things, you know, up here that the coaches can't see down low, John. But, you know, if the Cats need to work on that secondary, and they'll get things taken care of as the season goes along. Hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah, the Cats come back, and we'll spend some time defensively this week making sure that everybody's on the right page and everybody makes sure they've got their assignment. What we know about Glendale is they're just about the opposite of us, where we lost some really skilled players this last year. We came back in the form of a line, and the line is really beefed up. Well, Glendale's got their skilled players, but they're building an all-new line. So
Forsyth doing a different formation, 3 men in the backfield, quarterback under center, and a late flag coming in.
Yeah, and that's going to be on number 72, and that's Brody Leach.
See what the call is.
Well, I believe that's who it's going to be on. He was the last one to make the push in that little pushing contest.
And Forsyth going to bring in, looks like the rest of the bench.
Yeah, it does look that way, doesn't it?
Let them play the last 5 or 6 downs.
There's the call. And it is, well, we're trying to call it. We're getting ready to make the call. And it was against Forsyth. So Brody Leach got away with the last push, but it was all because the Forsyth tackle picked him up and threw him down first.
And one of the referees explaining the situation to the head coach for Forsyth.
Yeah, that is Forsyth team has had 2 penalties like that, 2 unsportsmanlike conducts, and then in the ball game against McDonald County, there was a little extracurricular activity there as well. So, and I'm sure Forsyth coming in, being the smallest team in the bunch, feels like that they've got something they're going to try to show. So, but when all's said and done, guys, this is a jamboree. That's all it is. It's a jamboree. That kind of aggression's okay, but let's show it next week.
These are mistakes you don't want to see happen in the regular season.
Yeah, it looks like we're set up in a kind of a flex bone offense, and there's a ball that is thrown, the quarterback rolling on the outside, and looked like the receiver had it in his hands and lost it. Yeah.
All these young men on both sides of the ball tonight have thrown the ball fairly well. 3rd down and 10 to go. Ball spotted on the 40-yard line for Forsyth. Wildcats on defense. This is the last of the section of football for the Cats tonight. They've taken on the Mustangs of Mack County and Mountaineers of Mount Vernon. Good handoff. Coming around left side. Across the 5-6 yard line.
Yeah. And that was a run by, looked like number 34, and it was looked like it may have been their version of a jet sweep. And we've certainly got to be getting close to the end for the Cats right now. It's a matter of not hurting anybody in the last few minutes of this jamboree.
All on the 33-yard line, 4th down. If they don't make it, they'll bring it back. Forsythe has a very small front five. Going to roll right, going to throw, got a man open. Oh, he's in and out of his hands. Would have been enough for a first down at the 25, but they'll bring it back.
Yeah, that was a nice pass by the quarterback that time. It was right on the money. It just unfortunately wasn't caught. But you certainly can't blame him. And I guess that's going to be it.
Well, it was a good. Well, they've brought it back unless they have a few more downs left.
Well, Forsythe thought that was it because they were lining up to go shake hands, but apparently not. That number 10 out there doesn't look like he's a very big young man at all, does he?
No, he does not.
I mean, he can't weigh 120. Reminds me of when I was a freshman playing football, maybe 125 pounds at the most.
But these are JV players, a lot of them in there for opportunity. We're going to roll right again. Bing hunted down. He's got a man open. Enough for a first down, still on his feet. Brought down on about the 21-yard line. Good little run, good pickup of 19 yards for the Panthers.
Brought down by Weston Richardson, a sophomore.
And I think
now that's it.
That must be it. That's the end of the ball game. Good scrimmage from all these teams. Want to thank them for taking part tonight. Most of all, thank you for being with us. And if you're a die-hard Wildcat fan, I hope you saw your favorite players out on the field, and come out and join us next week, next Friday night, live from Bob Anderson Stadium as the Cats take on Glendale.
The Glendale Falcons, coached by Frank Trisson, and we've known Frank Trisson for a long, long time. He was a coach over at Willard first and went back to his alma mater, so we certainly wish him luck, but we wish him luck in us beating him tomorrow night. Then we go to Kickapoo the next Friday night, and after that we're right back home again. So we've got 2 home games in the first 3, Jim.
That's true. We have more home games than away games this year. Some of the away games will be at Waynesville and also at Republic.
Yeah, so
and Willard.
Yeah, we will. And barbecue at Willard.
We like that. We know where to go for barbecue in Willard. That's for sure.
So for Matt Ball, Jim Jackson, and John Ball, until next Friday night, go Cats!